All right, let's do this. Let's get some more words in. So, today I want to talk about mentoring, specifically other authors. So, I'm going to start with story time. I'm going to start with a story. When I was wore a younger man's shoes, were like 2008, 2009, somewhere in that range. So over over 15 years ago, closer to 20 years ago. It's something in my eye. Um, I used to read author J.A. Conrath's newsletter, and he was a big five published author. And basically, in his newsletter back in the day, he was like, "This self-publishing thing isn't going to be anything. You got the stigma. Back then, if you self-published a book, you had a stigma behind you." So he was firmly into, you know what? I'm a big six publisher, big six at the time. I'm a big six publisher. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I pay my bills and blah blah blah. And then there was a slow change when he realized, wait a minute, I could get a lot more money doing this on my own. I can get a lot more control doing this on my own. And so he slowly switched over, got rights to his books back, and now he's a huge, huge, huge self-published author. Okay, at that point, and so I'm following along on his journey, and I had a a book that I had sent to a big a big indie publisher that I thought they were going to love, and they seemed to love, and then they imploded, and I was like, what am I going to do? Okay, I thought that was my book. That was my book to get that next step to the next step kind of thing. And then it didn't work. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to look for a small press, someone who will understand this, which I did. That book was Chelsea Avenue, and Devil Dog Press ended up taking that book, and it's still available. In fact, it became a trilogy. In the meantime, I'm following J.A. Conrath's journey, and I'm also following Scott Nicholson, who was an author, Red Barn, phenomenal book, but he's got a lot of really good supernatural horror books and things. And I was following, reading all of his books and following his newsletter, and they just had a lot of information. He was also a big six publisher, author who had gone and started doing his own thing, created his own imprint and everything else. So these two gentlemen, I was just some dude trying to get my books out there, and I asked them a ton of questions. I was like, one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna ask. I had a question about publishing, self-publishing. I'm gonna ask both of these guys, and hopefully one of them will help me. They both helped me, and they helped me for a long time. They helped me for a couple of years each, on and off. And the funny part is, I've never met either of these guys in person. If I did, I would shake their hand and thank them for all the advice. And I'm sure they don't even realize how much they helped me. Obviously, I thank them while they were doing it. And for me, that was one of those light bulb moments of paying it forward. That was the thing for me. I was like, I would not have had uh, a path through to self-publishing if it wasn't for these two guys. Now, listen, I made every mistake you can possibly make. I did everything wrong you could possibly do wrong. But I always took their advice. I always understood these are the people that are doing this. These are the people that are walking the walk, talking the talk. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow their advice, and I did, and I did quite well. And when I didn't ask for advice, and when I thought, my egos, I can do this part on my own, I always failed, and I always learned the hard way on those. But these two gentlemen helped me. So for me, I thought, you know what? If anybody asks me for advice, and at that point, 15, 20 years, I was like, nobody's going to ask me for any advice. But if they do, I'm going to give them the real answer. I'm going to help them as much as I can, because then I'm also learning from them. And over the years, I've helped a lot of authors. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that because I enjoy helping other authors. I enjoy talking shop. I enjoy questions about the business. I enjoy stuff where, okay, I don't know the answer. Let me go out and find the answer, because this could help me as an author. This could help me self-publishing. This could help me learning the business and all these things. And so for me, that was a lot of fun. I did a podcast, me and author Chuck Buda. We did a podcast called the Mondo Method Podcast. We got 333 episodes where we would answer your questions. We would talk about the current state of publishing. We would talk about anything and everything about publishing, and all that we had done wrong, all that made sense, didn't make sense, the whole nine. And I love doing that podcast because we got a ton of questions. We got a ton of coming up wannabe authors, whatnot, that asked a ton of questions. And a lot of them I still hang out. In fact, on this YouTube channel, there's a couple that will pop in and out that I have been friendly with since back in the Mondo Method podcast days, which is pretty cool. And so for me, I always wanted to do that. There's a couple of authors that currently, they will send me a text out of nowhere. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? And I will give them my honest opinion. And again, it's just my opinion on stuff. The last year, and hopefully this year, I was a mentor for the Sisters in Crime organization, and I helped an author. She's written a ton of really phenomenal short stories. She's trying to segue into something longer. And I kind of talked her through, not so much like I'm going to read your book and tell you what's wrong with it kind of thing, but more or less, where is your headspace right now to write a novel? Because, most people look at a novel and they go, oh my God, I got to write 63,000 words, 100,000 words, whatever it is. And I just said to her, no, you just need to write this next page. You just need to write this next chapter. It's like you're writing short stories. You're writing 40 short stories, 50 short stories, which are your chapters, with the same characters moving along. That kind of advice. And it really compartmentalized and broke it down. And I think hopefully it helped her. I think she's gearing up to getting close to finishing that novel, which is awesome. There's other authors that I have helped over the years, and just that rah-rah cheerleader thing, which also helps me because it gets me motivated. There was an author that for a couple of years, we would have a Sunday call, or every other Sunday, we would have a phone call, and basically, where are you in this book? Where are you doing these things? And at that point, that author was doing well. They had put out their first book. They put out their second book. I think they were working on their third book. And then life happens, and they are, from what I can ascertain, they are barely writing. Every now and then I'll see a post from this person. But I'm there to help you. There's authors that I hang out with now that will ask me questions. And a couple of them just ignore what I tell them, and that's frustrating because for the most part I know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, why are you asking my advice? Why are you wasting my time asking for my advice if you're not even gonna even attempt to follow it? And again, that's not an ego thing. That's just, I'm trying to help you. I've been there. I've done this. You're asking me questions that I've legitimately screwed up. You're asking me parts of this career that I have legitimately shot myself in the foot over. But you're also asking me stuff that I've figured it out afterwards. I figured it out the hard way, but I figured it out, and I did it. So with anybody, if you're looking for advice, if you're coming to somebody for advice that has been there, done that, in the trenches, I'm 30 plus years I've been doing this, 15th year of doing this full time. I know what I'm talking about. So if you come to me with the idea of, I need your advice, I don't know, heed some of the advice. I'm not saying everything I say is infallible. I'm not saying everything I say is going to work for you, but at least think about it. At least try it without, I've had an author who sent me their contract for a publisher, and I'm like, yeah, this is here's some red flags on this, and they go and sign the contract, and then well, I shouldn't have done that. Well, I told you not to do that. I told you all of the red flags on this, and this is even before all the AI and all the other scams that are out there. Just I don't know if you're taking the time to ask me for advice, then maybe listen to what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying. I have authors that are just casual. They just they'll ask me a question here and there. I have other authors who say, "What do you think of this?" And I say, "I would, if you're asking me, I would do this." And then they do it, and they're like, "Thank you very much. You know what? That really helped me." I kind of help them with the mindset of look at everything we're doing long term. Don't look and go, well, I just put my first book out, so where's my $1 million? Don't look at long term. I need a backlist. I need to write better books. I need to continue to move up and gain some momentum. That's one, because in this day and age, everybody's binge watching everything. Everybody's binge reading a series. So these are some of the things that I look at. And it's not like, so I've worked with Sisters in Crime. I worked with HWA when they were doing their mentoring program originally. I've done it with a couple of other organizations over the years. And I've met some friends that way. I've met some colleagues. I've met authors that, man, blew right past me with sales and accolades and everything else. And I am so happy for them. I did my little part to help them in a positive way. And that's really what it is. It's I remember years ago somebody had said, why are you helping other authors? You're creating you're helping to create authors who are going to sell more books than you. You're basically, it's like you're giving your enemy the tools to succeed and blow past you. And my simple answer was, do you think readers read one book a year, and instead of picking my book, they're going to pick that person's book? Is that how you think publishing works? Is that how you think the world works? I'm helping other people because it's, I'm a huge believer in karma. It's karma. I'm going to help you. Hopefully you help me back, but there's no guarantee, and there's no, I'm doing this so you help me back, because it's I'm at a certain rung on that ladder, and other people are under me, and I'm helping them, and they climb past me, and hopefully they will go lend a hand and say, hey, come up this ladder with me. We're going to move up. That's how I started originally, by being me, by helping people and in this career. And it's helped. I've gotten some really, really good introductions for people. I've gotten some great invite onlys to anthologies over the years. I just want to be one of the good guys. I mean, that's the bottom line, right? I don't want anybody to look at me and go, oh, that guy's a jerk. I don't want anybody to go, oh, stay away from this guy. I don't want any of that. There's a lot of authors I'm friendly with it. I will say, hey, man, there was an author who was putting out a negative vibe of who they were. Okay. And I said to them, man, do you want to be known as this? Or do you want to be known as a good writer? Do you want to be known in the community do you want to be known as the dude who's always getting high? Or do you want to be known as a good writer? That kind of attitude. And I think it helped, because I don't see that person posting a lot of those negative things anymore. Most of their stuff is about writing. There was an author that we were at a convention one time, and I heard them getting advice from a writer that I knew was full of it. She was going on and on of what he needed to do in his career and writing and it was dumb advice. I'm going to be honest, there is dumb advice. There's dumb things. It was dumb advice, and it was, this is the way I did it, so you have to do it this way. Not, hey, maybe this is. I mean, it was literally, and the author, he looked confused afterwards, like, what is she talking about? And I pulled him off to the side and I said, that, why are you listening to that advice? You know, I don't want to step on anybody else, but the way they were saying it is, this is the only way that to do this. I said, there's other ways to do everything. Take some of the advice that she gave you, because maybe some of it's good. Try it. But overall, this is also a person who is not selling a lot of books. This is also a person who is riding the coattails of a couple of authors that are much bigger than her, and basically she's in that group, so everybody just assumes that she's. I don't even think this person is even writing anymore. Okay, this is not even 10 years ago. I don't think this person has even written a book in 5 years or something. So, not trying to crap on other authors, but I'm trying to mentor. I'm trying to help you to get to where you want to go. Again, I would love I would love for to mentor a handful of people, authors, and they go on with huge contracts, huge sales, movies made about their books, on and on and on, because that would make me feel like, hey, you know what? I'm not wasting my time. I'm not just, talking just to hear myself talk, which my wife says I do a lot. So there you go. So I am helping. There's an author now she's writing her, I guess, her second book, and her first book will be released soon. And anytime she needs advice, I'm going to give her advice. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to say, hey, here's some advice for you. No. But the reality is, if she has any questions about self-publishing, about anything else, anything that I know about, I am definitely going to help you. That's kind of what these videos are for. There's a guy that I know that is, I don't know, he's said several times, you should do a course. You should do a paid course on all this. You have all this knowledge and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want to do a paid course. I don't want to feel like I'm taking your money. I don't want to feel like a snake oil salesman. I've run into a lot of those over the years. I am not interested in that. I'm interested in making money, but I'm interested in making money selling books, and I'm interested in making money monetizing my YouTube, having a Patreon, those types of things where I'm giving advice away because I want an interaction with people, because I want to help people. And I think that's more important than I'm going to set up a course for $499 and, that kind of thing. And I'm not saying all those courses are wrong. There's some really, really good authors who offer a lot of information, who offer a lot for that $499 or whatever it is. I get that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to create courses and stuff. That might happen in the future. Who knows? Maybe I'll get an idea. I'll go, this is so good, I'm going to charge money for this. Who knows? As of right now, as you're watching this video, that is not on my agenda. That is on my list. Never say never. So there you go. That's how I got into mentoring, and it was as simple as pay it forward. And you need to remember that. You need to remember that we are, whether we've sold one book, whether we've sold 1 billion books, we are public figures now. So anything we say or do, people look at. And I'm not going to get into all of that right now, maybe another video, but just be kind to people. Support other authors, promote other authors. Let people know these specific people are my tribe, kind of thing. And I think that will go a long way to karma. Karma will definitely kick your butt, or karma will be your best friend. And especially if there's a stripper named Karma. No, forget that part. All right, so thank you. Please hit the subscribe button. Please also let me know what other kinds of videos about writing and whatnot you want to see as well, because I want to continue to do these videos. I want to continue to help you and to keep talking. I like talking.